If somebody asks me right now, in this moment, am I a little nervous? I would say no, because I'm very, very nervous. Our previous speakers, Ms. Tatiana and Vedant, delivered absolutely beautiful speeches, but they also heightened my nervous level, to a new level. But let me gather myself and let's start with a show of hands. How many of you here, or someone you know, has felt lost or out of place? Okay. Or how many of you here know somebody that has been in a poor mental state when things in their life just aren't working out for them? Yeah? Okay. So this is basically a very common phenomenon. We are faced with situations that we cannot properly correspond to. In fact, I see myself as a great example. Hello everyone, my name is Kuhu Jayaswal, and I'm a junior at Nashua High School South. And I'm here to deliver a talk about a skill that I find is very essential and is the simplest key to happiness: adaptability. Now, what is adaptability? Siri told me that it is the quality of being able to adjust to new conditions. I'm the unique high school case since I transferred from India in my junior year in August of 2022. If I be honest, it was completely crazy. Nothing was going right, but this craziness can diverge into something much more aggravating. Change is a phenomenon that everybody goes through, and the degree to which it occurs can differ. You can either go from changing schools or changing complete continents. Let's just focus on high school for now. High school may seem like the elite experience, but in reality, it is a bit more triggering than that. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, suicide is the second leading cause of death in individuals 15 to 24 in the US. In 100 people, 20 people have had thoughts of suicide, 9 people that have actually gone ahead and attempted to do so. Despite all these negativities and downfalls, I still managed to move from one point of the world to another by a simple yet remarkable secret, and that is by adapting to the skill of adaptability. It was obvious I had to face mountains of change, and I was completely new here, but I always tried to give my best wherever I was placed. And I tried to be unique to myself because I knew nobody could take that hint out of me. The importance of adaptability is not very obvious to all of us, but I'm here to make it a bit more obvious for you. First of all, our world is accelerating at remarkable speeds, and that in turn invites rapid change. Technology is an inseparable part of our present and our future, to even which our grandparents have to rely on for a multitude of tasks. According to the American Association of Grandparents, a survey for senior citizens 60 plus in the US, 2/3 of them claimed that they had a smartphone, and less than 1% said they were not involved with the internet at all. In this scenario, senior citizens of the country and the people who are our grandparents were adapting to the situation and the new technology, and hence they were inviting effectiveness into their lives. Now, what is really in our control? Most of the systems in this entire world are not fully under our control. A new term has been introduced: global uncertainty. This is where the outcomes and the likelihood is known, but not at the state which it occurs. This can be linked to the coronavirus pandemic, where volatile and dangerous situations were created. But us, adaptable individuals, went through and surpassed the difficult times, and that is why we are here today. Adaptability also invites growth and innovation. Humans have always been curious, they've always been discovering, and it also leads to what we call out-of-the-box thinking. Everybody saw an apple falling from the tree. But what did Sir Isaac Newton see? He saw something much more beyond that, and that is why we study our gravity today. Next, adaptability helps us cope with various emotions. First of all, life has its ups and downs. There is no guarantee of sunny days. But to prepare ourselves with all that is available and trying our best is key, and we should just be like a cactus. A cactus survives in the duskiness and windstorms, but it also retains itself for the brighter days to come. Finally, the most important advantage of adaptability: personal growth and fulfillment. All that we do is plants curiosity, it leads to exploration, and us as humans are so smart that we always want to see ourselves grow. 10 months ago, I was completely new to the US. I was not aware of the education system or how anything worked. But fast forward to the present, I'm delivering a TED Talk for you guys. This is why I firmly believe that adaptability is indeed the simplest key to happiness. Us as humans can choose the path that we want to take up and how we want to grow about it. But it's not always necessary that the path we choose and make up for ourselves is the correct one. Adaptability also has its two unpaved paths. The first one, where a person adapts absolutely nowhere to anything. And the second one, where an individual adapts, overpasses, and uses their adaptive reach on a very high level. Non-adaptive individual can be introduced to complete isolation, and they can experience setbacks in their ongoing life. They can be that oddball in the whole accelerating public. Now remember, there's a difference in between unique and being stubborn. The over-adaptive individual, however, they can lose themselves completely and create unwanted disbalance in their lives. This can be correlated with the boiling frog. For those of you who are not aware of the metaphor, the boiling frog is where a frog is placed in a vessel of water that kept getting hotter. As the water grows and the temperature rises, the frog would stay as long as it can due to its adaptive nature, but eventually it would jump out. That means the frog is drawing a line for itself. Another interpretation for the same thing is if the frog doesn't jump out, it will ultimately lose its energy and die. Here, it shows that overexhaustion of something can lead to loss of complete energy and no motivation for further activities. Now, that I've talked about the importance and the several values and the paths to adaptability, let's actually move on to adapting to the skill of adaptability. Firstly, life is not a rush, so please take it slow. It is not a competition. This is all about you. Always remember that those moments of happiness and satisfaction are the ones telling you that ultimately everything is piecing together and it is working out for you. Number two, it's not a Jay's job, and learning something takes time and persistence, and it requires skill. Give it time. This I can quote from the humor from the two different countries I come from. In India, if I said that I bombed a test, that means I aced it. I completely excelled at it. But here, if I said that I bombed a test, that means I failed it and flunked it. It still will take time for it to register in my brain, and honestly, I'm still confused by it even after 10 months of staying here. Number three, emotions of anger, frustration, or sadness are bound to pay a visit on any journey, but it is on you to not let those emotions reach your heart. It is very important to cope up with the negative, so it doesn't draw you back. Number four, be very consistent towards your goal. A lot of interruptions will bounce along the way, but you need to be consistent. In a book that I read called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he exposed a theory, 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours is the amount of time you need to completely master a skill. Then I want to take an example that he quoted from the book of the Beatles. The Beatles are that famous legendary band that we know about. They started off really small in very shitty areas all over Europe. But after playing 6 to 8 hours each night, 7 days a week, their skill level, their persistence, their hard work, and patience actually gave them results, and we know of them as the legendary band today. Finally, and most importantly, I cannot emphasize this enough, do not ever lose yourself. Hang on to who you are. You are the only one who can contribute and create that unique energy. Not everyone has that hint of uniqueness that you do. Now, the culminative example of all these tips is of the eagle. The eagle has a lifespan of about 70 years, but at the age of 40, it experiences a few changes. Its wings grow too heavy so it can't take its flight. Its claws and talons become too curved so it can't catch its prey. At this point, he has two options, either to sit and simply die, or go through a rigorous process of adaptation that amounts to 5 months. Eagles, first of all, start by going off to a higher altitude. They literally break their beak by stamping it on a rock. They pluck out their talons, and they pull out their old age feathers. Now they're ready to take their next successful flight and live on for the next 30 years. Though the process of adaptation for them was quite rigorous, but they got 30 years to live. Now this wraps up my take on adapting to the skill of adaptability. Change is inevitable, and it's a common phenomenon that everybody faces. And if life is not a stagnant cycle, don't expect it to be. If it's about to change, you're about to change. For this tech talk, I could have chose from millions of topics, but I stuck to this one because I'm trying to hone to the skill each and every day. So if I can do it and I'm here, I'm very confident that you can do it too. Thank you for your time.